Hello and welcome. In this video, we will discover 5 things a girl wants you to do but will never ask. Understanding the modern woman of today is a serious subject of its own and requires patience and commitment. However, the efforts pay off and result in a healthy, long-lasting, and fulfilling relationship, although reaching that stage is a whole other thing. We men love to place all the blame on the fairer sex by saying, "Women are complicated," or "No one can understand females." While these statements may hold some merit, it's mostly situational rather than a gender thing. Understanding how women feel or what they want may seem like a mystery to most men. However, there are a few things that most women share in common that are probably not all that known among the men. Here are 5 things a girl wants you to do but will never ask you to. Just before, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to download your free book to successfully seduce any girl by clicking on the link in the description below. 1. Freedom of personal space. You know how girls are shown to be clingy or needy or constantly seeking attention from their counterparts? Yeah, that isn't true in most cases. Media outlets have led us to believe a typical stereotype that women demand time, want to shimmy themselves into every aspect of our lives, and need to be involved in everything we do. On the contrary, modern-day women love to have their personal space and are considerate of respecting boundaries. Whether that could be attributed to the changes in choices, them having much more opportunities in the world, or a strengthened sense of self is another matter. 21st century relationships are built on the concept of retaining individuality while being with someone. Women want their freedom and space. They want to keep their friendships, family, and in general, relationships with other people in separate niches of life and the romantic life on a different plate altogether, which isn't wrong. Think about it. When you're dating a woman, you wouldn't want her to jump in and start changing the dynamics you already have with the other individuals in your life. Or, when in a later, more serious stage, you wouldn't want to give up everything or adjust certain aspects to accommodate a single bond, despite it being important. Don't get me wrong, after a few years, dynamics are bound to shift, whether it be between friends or family. However, when it happens organically, no one can blame a particular relationship, especially a romantic one, for the change. Personal space gives the pair room to grow personally and together while maintaining a healthy connection. Just because 2 people are in a relationship doesn't mean they can't live their own lives, have their hobbies, or don't deserve their own me time. Understanding why everyone needs their personal space to breathe in a committed relationship is the first step to providing said space. Women don't want a man to constantly hover over her, not letting her go about her regular life outside their connection. She wants the freedom of being independent and the space to be herself. Although they rarely ever come out and say it for fear of appearing too complicated or not into it or uncaring or for another multitude of reasons. 2. Care. This may seem obvious but is perhaps the most difficult one to comprehend. Humans love to be cared for, which is why they're actively looking for relationships and love in the first place. However, care comes in different forms, not all of which are evident or wanted. Women want to feel important and loved, but not suffocated and overwhelmed. Some may appreciate flowers sent to their workplace occasionally, while others may like a home-cooked meal and a quiet evening in. You would notice this is different than doing too much, trust me, this is a thing, and becoming overbearing. You wouldn't want to send bouquets to her office daily, especially when she might get embarrassed or perhaps won't enjoy the gesture. All women are different. They have their preferences and unique personalities. Finding the balance between being thoughtful and stepping into their private space shows how much you understand a woman and how deeply you care for her. The little things count the most. It's not possible or expected to plan grand gestures every day when you're in a relationship to say that you love her and appreciate her. The smaller scaled actions like breakfast in bed or noticing when she runs out of her favorite perfume and picking up a bottle or simply complimenting her when she gets ready is enough to let her know you care for her. While some men may have to fight the urge of overdoing it, others may be blind to everything and guilty of not acknowledging the beautiful woman in their life at all. Don't be afraid of showing how you feel every once in a while. Women love it when their men make them feel special and cared for, but they don't like demanding it. 3. Understanding yet assertive. The 2 traits may seem contradictory, but in fact, the skill is to know when to be which. Men think that women want a strong, masculine, manly man dripping with testosterone. Following this made-up expectation, they tend to act like ignorant brutes most of the time. Women do not want that. They want compassionate men. They want someone who will listen when they talk and understand when they want to communicate, not just the words, but the feelings. They want their man to know how they feel and who they are as a person. They want a man who would hear them out, consult them on different matters, and think of them when making decisions that would affect them or the relationship directly. On the other hand, they also want a man who isn't afraid of rocking the boat, a man who doesn't back away from taking action and is assertive. There's a difference between a person who would just agree to what you say to see you happy and a man who's ready to compromise, but also is sure of himself and isn't a pushover. Women do not want a yes ma'am follower. They want someone who understands their position, is kind in their words, and yet won't just sacrifice everything for them. Compromise is one thing. Without it, no relationship can last. However, being assertive, knowing what you want, and going after it is another thing. These two characteristics, when practiced in balance, build healthy relationships not just for women, but also for men. You won't be struggling to meet all your girl's demands, and she will respect your choices without feeling a lack of worth. 4. Having emotional intimacy with other people. Emotional intimacy may seem like an unexpected and a little weird expectation, but it's actually healthy. Have you ever noticed women joking that they're in a romantic relationship with a child, or that they often feel like mothers teaching men what they should do, or something along these lines? Well, being emotionally close with your friends would probably solve this problem. It's easy to understand where this stems from. Men are taught from a very young age to be strong or hide their true feelings. Even though things are now changing for the better, the damage has been done. So when they finally enter a mature relationship where they feel safe and respected enough to talk about their feelings, they start sharing. Now, by all means, this is a sign of maturity and is necessary to establish a healthy connection. Feelings evolve, and your partner slowly but surely becomes your best friend. You start telling them everything, asking them what they think you should do on all issues, complain about what happened to you in a day. You see, this starts to descend into the category of oversharing. Being emotionally close, talking about your feelings is the start to building a meaningful bond. However, when you become dependent on a single person or constantly run to them for all your emotional needs, it will strain your connection with them. When this starts happening, women often feel like they are your therapists or mothers or life coaches rather than your partners. This makes emotional intimacy with other individuals in your life, whom you are close to and share a bond with, all the more important. When that burden is distributed among a few different people, it will not strain any of your dynamics with the people you are close to. Moreover, staying in charge of your emotional tendencies is necessary to be your own person. Even when romantically involved with someone, your emotional health is part of your own well-being, and thus, it is your responsibility rather than anyone else's. Depending on someone else to give you advice is wrong, and expecting them to always be right places awful pressure and guilt on their shoulders when things go wrong. Emotional dependency, emotional intimacy with others, and having an emotional connection with your partner are all different aspects that cultivate your overall health. Maintaining stability among all these different perspectives results in nurturing and healthy relationships. No woman wants to be a therapist to the man she's with. 5. Acceptance, not approval. Looking for validation in other people is the greatest warning sign of lacking self-esteem, which healthy relationships do not sponsor. However, handing out unwanted approvals is also something men do, even while having good intentions. So, what do women really want? Women want acceptance from relationships. Acceptance and approval may seem like concepts with blurred lines in between, so it's easy to slip up. However, knowing the difference is crucial. Women want to feel accepted. They don't want to look for assurance in other people. Acceptance means that you recognize what your woman has to say, the way she feels, and you know her flaws and talents and love her all the same. At the same time, approval means you recognize her imperfections and skills and allow them to continue. When you talk of acceptance, you talk of being equals in a relationship, whereas approval indicates that one person has power over the other. Validation is a way of communicating acceptance. The concept isn't wrong when it comes from someone else, the male partner in this case, instead of actively being sought out here by the female partner. In fact, acceptance and validation can be thought of as a process of learning, understanding, and expressing another person's experiences. This is distinguished from approval, where one partner has the power to reject, ignore, or judge the other person's experiences. Acceptance does not mean that you blindly agree with the other person. It does not warrant their responses to situations, emotional or otherwise. Rather, acceptance means understanding and communicating. Acceptance is a way of saying that you recognize what they are feeling or what they have been through without trying to talk them out of the feeling or shaming them or telling them what's right or wrong from your perspective. Women want to know that they can safely share experiences with their partners without having to face judgment or being told what they should have or shouldn't have done. They do not want their partner's approval, which proves there is a power imbalance in the relationship and their worth is being belittled. Now that you have a better understanding of what women really want, I hope that the female species doesn't seem all that complicated and confusing anymore. With this, we come to the end of the list of my 5 things that every woman wants you to do but won't ever ask of you. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, comment, and especially subscribe to the channel. You're also free to receive the new book, 9 Keys to Seduce Any Girl, by clicking on the link in the description below.